This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated with another story of true crime and insurance fraud. This number 29 is entitled Thieves Compensation. He was a good employee. He arrived for work every day on time. He did his job 8 hours a day and never goofed off. He was loyal to his employer. His diligence got him raises and promotions. In 2009, his boss came to him and said, "The recession has hit me hard. I can't afford to keep paying you. You're laid off." He was shocked. He could say nothing. He could do nothing to keep his job. He packed up his personal belongings, said goodbye to his boss, and left. The next day he went to the state office of unemployment. He filed the first claim in his life for unemployment benefits. He was ashamed, but had no choice. Coming out of the unemployment office, he met a very pleasant man. Having nothing better to do, he accepted the man's offer of a cup of coffee. They sat on a bus bench and talked about his troubles. The man asked detailed questions about his job. He explained that the employer was not alone. Other people were suffering just like he was. He explained there was a way to tide him over better than unemployment insurance. The employee was dumbfounded. Are you offering me a job?" he asked. "No, I'm only offering a way to make yourself some money without any effort." "Is this legal?" the employee asked. "Of course. I will refer you to a lawyer I know who will help you file a very legal claim before the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board." The man gave him the lawyer's card. He explained that under the law of the state, employees are entitled to medical treatment and benefits if they are injured on the job. Those benefits pay monthly. Since they're tax-free, they almost equal his take-home pay before he was laid off. He explained that the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board set the lawyer's fee and would usually make it a small percentage of the benefit received. "But I wasn't injured on the job," the employee responded. "You just told me how other people had been laid off before you, and it had caused you worry and concern. This, I have been told, is a form of stress which a doctor will state as a work-related emotional injury." The employee, recognizing that his chance of finding a new job in the aerospace industry was small, took the lawyer's card and went directly to the lawyer's office. The lawyer told the employee that it appeared he had a good stress-related workers' compensation claim. He had the employee sign a contingency fee agreement. He then sent the employee to a doctor who did a 10-minute physical examination and a 5-minute interview. After completing his 15 minutes of work, the doctor told his secretary to prepare a report. She used a standard report form already recorded in her word processor. The report contained 12 pages of medical jargon, concluding that the employee was permanently disabled as a result of job-related stress. He gave the report directly to the employee and told him to deliver it to the lawyer. The lawyer then presented the claim and with little difficulty obtained a permanent disability rating for the employee. They paid the doctor's bills and the lawyer received his fee. The solicitor outside the unemployment office received a flat $500 fee from the lawyer for the referral. The doctor, who billed $600 for the complete examination and evaluation, gave the lawyer $200 as the lawyer's fee for the referral. Everybody did very well except the workers' compensation insurer and the employer, whose business was having enough difficulties without finding its workers' compensation premiums increased. The employee received a bonus on top of his unemployment benefits that was sufficient to carry him into his new job with a small nest egg. The insurance buying public, every employer in the state is required to maintain workers' compensation insurance. The workers' compensation insurer and the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board must spend time and money in processing a fraudulent claim. The employee did not even know that he was committing a fraud since he relied on the advice of his dishonest lawyer. It is a crime to solicit business for a lawyer for a fee in California and in most states. It's a crime to pay kickbacks to lawyers for referring clients for medical services. It's a crime to present a fraudulent claim to the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board. None of the participants were concerned, because experience had taught them that the local police, the insurance department, and the prosecutors did not care about an insurer being defrauded. The workers' compensation system and the money in the system hangs from a branch like ripe fruit ready to be picked. The lawyer, his capper, and the doctor could not resist picking that fresh fruit and stuffing the cash they gained from it into their pockets. This type of crime will continue despite the criminal penalties if the employers and insurance industry fail to make clear to all employees in the state that the presentation of a false workers' compensation claim is a crime. It's a felony where the perpetrator can receive up to 5 years in the state prison. The overabundance of workers' compensation fraud cases is destroying the business community. The cost of maintaining workers' compensation insurance or in paying benefits as a permissively self-insured employer as a result of fraud runs in the billions of dollars. If the workers' compensation stopped most of those people laid off as a result of the recession of 1990, 91, or 2008, 2009 could be rehired, there would be no problem. It is time that the public is informed that insurance fraud is stealing money from their pockets, not some rich insurance company. The fire damage from the Los Angeles riots of 1992 or the riots of 2019-2020 are estimated at billions of dollars. As a result of that damage, every police officer was put on full-time 12-hour shifts. The National Guard was federalized. They put every district attorney and judge on overtime to handle the arrests. 7 times that value is stolen every year from the insurance industry by people perpetrating insurance fraud. The State Bureau of Fraudulent Claims, created for the sole purpose of fighting the $10 billion a year insurance fraud in California, has 150 investigators. Fewer people perpetrate this massive insurance fraud that participated in the riots. It's done without violence, and therefore nobody seems to care. Rather than burning a building, the person committing insurance fraud merely signs his name to a claim form. Although most insurance fraud is not a violent crime, the crime of insurance fraud has become so rampant that a task force akin to the one used to quell the Los Angeles riots is needed. That such a task force was not generated after the 1992 riots, I doubt it will be started after the 2020 riots and the presidential election. Insurance fraud is simply too lucrative and so uninvestigated and non-prosecuted that it will continue as long as the insurance industry and the state governments allow it to do so. This video was adapted from my book, Insurance Fraud Cost Everyone, which is available as both a Kindle book and a paperback from Amazon.com. Thank you for your attention.